Landlords throughout the country are getting hit with high property tax assessments as cities and local municipalities try to collect more taxes. But the landlords are saying that those tax increases are really going to hurt tenants. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting topic for you today, and it's going over one of my least favorite things, and that's taxes, in particular property taxes. And you know what? I haven't covered this topic enough, but I really should cover more of it because you know what? This is a big issue for a lot of landlords throughout the entire country, including me. I got hit hard this year, and you know what? I had to dispute every single one of my property tax bills for my properties down in the Kansas City area because hey, you know what? They were like, oh, well, the value of your property more than doubled. In one case, it tripled in 1 year. And I'm like, tripled? Oh, give me a break. This is ridiculous. Okay. But you know what? This is happening to landlords throughout the entire country. You know, they say, oh, well, the value of real estate has gone up and we need to assess these properties better. It's a money grab. It's a money grab by these local governments. And you know what? It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It's going to end up hurting the tenants the most because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pass on those costs to the tenants in the form of higher rents. And if that means less people can afford housing, so be it. But I'm not going to take a loss so that I could pay triple the property taxes in 1 year. That's ridiculous, okay? So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. So landlords out there, did you face an increased property tax bill this year? And how much of an increase did you face? I'm pretty sure that most of us have, we're paying higher taxes than we were last year. You know, like this is one of the things I always say about whenever they pass these laws saying, oh, we want rent control. We want to make it so that landlords can't collect their rent, but they never slow down the amount they want to charge for property taxes. Notice that? Okay, the city, the county, they want their money, but they don't want you to get paid yours, you know? So I have a big problem with it. So anyway, let's get into this article. This article is coming from kansascitystar.com, and it says, some landlords say high Jackson County tax assessments will hurt tenants too. Here's why. And I'm covering this article because this affects me personally, okay? I own property in Jackson County, Missouri. I'm originally from Kansas City, and I own real estate there right now. And I got hit hard by the property tax collector this year, okay? So, you know, let me get into the article. This isn't just happening in Kansas City. You know, our assessments up here in Omaha were much higher as well, and I had to dispute my personal residence's home or property taxes up here in Omaha. So anyway, let's get into the article. While property owners across Jackson County sound off on social media, stand in hours-long lines, and flood local community centers to commiserate over sharp increases to their property tax assessments, landlords warn that homeowners won't be the only residents who have to deal with the effects of potentially higher taxes. They say Kansas City's tenants could lose out too. Several local property owners and real estate experts told the Star that increased assessment values and the higher property taxes that many expect to follow could likely push landlords to raise rents, put off needed building maintenance, or sell their properties to offset the additional expenses. All moves that would fall on renters. And they're absolutely correct, okay? In fact, they could have just came and interviewed me. They're not going to do that, though, because I'm a very negative and pessimistic person when it comes to these taxes. Yes, I do believe that the cities do need property tax money to help maintain some of the infrastructure, right? My gripe is, though, that you know what? You can't tell me 1 year, okay, well, you know what? Your bill was, let's say, $3,000 this year. And then the very next year come up to me and say, now your bill is $9,000. Well, you know what? That is a humongous increase. And it's going to cause me to need to, you know, set aside a substantially, you know, $6,000 is $500 a month additional on top of what I was already paying. $500 a month in addition to what I was already paying. And, you know, if you separate that down into it's a duplex, right? So I need to charge each tenant $250 more per month just to cover the property taxes. That's what the Jackson County, Missouri told me. Okay, that's how ridiculous this is. So yes, I disputed it. Hopefully, they pay attention. Logic says that what it doesn't. The value did not increase by threefold. Okay, that's what logic says. But you know what? That isn't even the worst part about the assessment. Okay, Jackson County, I own four duplexes, right all in the same block, all right next to each other. Now, one of the properties, right, its value increased threefold. Meanwhile, the property right next to it, that is identical, built at the exact same time, right next to it, it's a duplex as well. It actually declined in value. I mean, not by much. I mean, it went from an assessment of, I believe, I can't remember what the assessment was, but it declined just a very small percentage of the value, right? And so I'm like, well, how does it work that a property that is right next to this other property, these two properties are identical, built at the exact same time, and one has a value that is three times higher than the one that's right next to it? Okay, it doesn't make any sense. So, it leads me to believe that, this is just a cash grab by the government. Okay, they want higher tax revenues coming into the city, and they're just going after everybody. And you know what? This can be ruinous to, not just us landlords, but like I said, to the tenants, to property owners, individual homeowners who won't be able to afford that additional, tax burden that they're putting on people. This is so dumb. There should be a limit to how much they can increase the property taxes in a single year, in my opinion. There should be. Like they always want to put limits on how much we can charge for rent. I'm not saying that we have rent control, but I'm just saying that, hey, you have to show us where you need this much additional income, and it better not be for that stupid streetcar line that doesn't make any money sitting in downtown Kansas City, or for that brand new airport that you guys just built. So everybody's property taxes in the entire county got to go up for this, multi-billion-dollar airport that just got built, or paying for a new stadium for the Chiefs or whatever. Okay, this is ridiculous. I mean, our roads are crumbling in here. The infrastructure is in bad shape. And meanwhile, we're paying super high taxes, and my property tax bill is tripling. I'm getting personal here because this is just angering me so much. But anyway, I should continue with this article because I'm on a rant. Andrew Sirios, a landlord who owns hundreds of properties in the region, said the assessed values of his nearly 200 Jackson County rental units, including single-family homes, duplexes, and fourplexes, increased by an average of 61%. A property in Waldo went from 140,000 to 649,000, Sirios said. And a South Kansas City property went from 51,000 to 192,000. See, he's having the same problem I'm having, Yeah, but he has a property there that increased 4x. 4x. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Jackson County assessors anticipated property owners would see an average increase of 30%, but many owners have reported significantly higher margins. Since 2019, the county has been working to bring its assessments up to market value after admittedly undervaluing them for years. Sirio said he has filed appeals on many of his properties, but if the assessed values don't come down, he plans to sell some of his buildings and raise the rent for tenants in his remaining buildings. And that's the only thing that we'll be able to do. Well, I mean, we have to raise the rent. We have to be able to cover these additional costs. And you know what? I understand they say that they have been undervaluing these properties for years, right? But just suddenly coming back and saying, hey, well, you know what? This property that has been undervalued, I mean, we were valuing it at 50 grand and now it's 200, and you facing a property tax bill that is four times higher than it was just 1 year ago. That is outrageous. Okay. That is, way too much, especially when we're talking about some of the lower income property owners out there. Okay. We can't just, I mean, it is very difficult to raise rents over a certain amount. So, there's only so much that I can raise the rent even. So yeah, I mean, I'd be screwing myself over. I'm taking a loss by dealing with this nonsense. So I hope that this stuff gets figured out. I hope that my property tax disputes are, my appeals are, looked at and verified to be ridiculous, because they are. And if not, well, you know what? I might be backing out of Kansas City. I thought that it was a good place to invest because the property taxes there were so low. That was part of the reason I invested there. The property taxes are significantly lower than they are in Omaha. So, but that might not be the case going into the future.